Hey guys, Devon VP here. Today I wanted to show you how you can create an awesome professional looking interview lighting setup that's not only going to be cost effective, but it's going to be easy and it's going to be mobile. This is going to be great for anyone who runs their own business, their own brand, whether it be something to do with plumbing, home services, or real estate agent, or anything that involves clients that can make use of customer testimonials or any sort of interview style. Even if you're a videographer who's starting to come up, this is going to be helpful for you. One thing I forgot to mention, assuming you already have a camera, a lens, and audio equipment, whether that be external or onboard your camera, this video is just for a lighting setup and lighting only. I had a buddy of mine that I work closely with. His name is David. Come in here, David. David, Mr. IE. So David and I, we worked a lot together. What he does is he does marketing and advertising with businesses. He essentially helps generate sales essentially for other business. Is that right? Is that a
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He recently contacted me, asked me, what is a easy, cost-effective lighting setup so that he can go ahead and create professional looking video testimonials himself without having to constantly hire a photographer or a videographer. So he had a budget of about $200, and that's what we're gonna stick around. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go over, I'm gonna teach David how to use this setup. I'm gonna be going over every single product. Of course, all the products are gonna be linked in the description down below if you're interested. Of course, we're gonna show you the results, the final product of how this interview would look. What we're definitely going to be picking up is this guy. This is going to be the main driver for your lighting kit. It's going to be the main light. And with this, you are not getting your typical just big old light bulb that you see in a lot of inexpensive lighting kits on Amazon. This is going to get you a much higher quality light, and it's going to give you not only controls to be able to dim the light, but it's going to give you the ability to change the color temperature. Being able to control the lighting temperature on your main light is going to give you a lot more flexibility on where you're able to set up these interviews. Many times when you're in a room that's lit by a window and say it's cloudy outside, you're going to get a lot of blue light. So you are able to match that blue light in here and then just adjust your camera settings in order to correct that into a much more warmer or neutral look. Obviously, in order to stand the light, we're gonna need a stand. So we're just picking up some basic light stands I have linked down below. We're gonna need 3 of them for this lighting setup. I'm gonna show you why. We're gonna try to soften. We're gonna try to fill in the shadows that's caused by your main light. And we're gonna do that with a reflector. So this is a very simple 24-inch reflector that we're gonna pick up, and we're gonna use one of those stands and a clip that we're gonna mount on top of it to hold it up. Again, all these pieces are gonna be in this list linked down below. Lastly, to give your interview lighting setup that extra professional look that's going to set it apart from others that you've seen or others that you've tried before is this little light right here. This little $20 light is going to be mounted on a stand set up behind your subject with a warm filter on right here. What that's going to do is going to create a really attractive warm hair light around the edge of your subject, creating separation and a really interesting, attractive, professional look. So there is one other item that's gonna set you above $200 if you add it to the set, but if you have the room to do it, I do recommend it. This is going to be a pain to unwrap. This is going to be a softbox diffuser for your main LED light. Right here, it's gonna go ahead, it's expand, it's gonna fit around your light, and it's gonna create a much more evenly lit look, and it's gonna be more flattering for your subject. So we're gonna go ahead and work in my office. We're gonna try to set it up here. What we want to do is emphasize its versatility, this setup. We don't have too much space, but we're gonna make it work. So first thing you wanna do is you wanna figure out where you're gonna place your subject. Obviously, best thing to do is to have them seated. They don't need to be seated, but for this lighting setup, it does work best if they're seated. So let's assume we're gonna have, well, before we figure out where they're seated, we wanna find out what do we wanna use as the background And I like my computer setup. Yes, we have a gnat problem here right now. Thank you for emphasizing that in the video. We are going to use my nice computer setup here because I like the lights. You got some plants back here, so let's just use this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the seat right here. The subject's going to be facing this way, and the subject's going to be facing this way. First, we're going to grab our stands, and we're going to set up the main light. That is with the newer LED light panel. And this is just a real easy, simple setup. These are really lightweight, they store really well, really easily, and they get the job done. Luckily, the light we're using is light, so we don't have to worry about getting a heavy-duty light stand. I mean, lightweight. It's light, obviously, because it is light. So you pop it on right here. You make sure this little nut is screwed out of the way to get all the way in there, and then when it is, you tighten it down. And then you can go ahead and loosen it to reposition it. And this light setup already has a little bit of tilt functionality. There's just these knobs here to loosen it up. David, show them how to open a box.
Well, see, this is the bottom of the box, so you start with the bottom.
Oh. Perfect, good job, David. We're gonna go ahead and use this to hold the reflector. So the purpose of the reflector is to fill in light where there is shadow created by the main light. So for this, we're definitely gonna have to unscrew this little cap here at the top, and it's gonna reveal a little screw nub. And from there, oh wait, this one we don't have to do that. So this is the clip that I have linked down below that I recommend you buy. When I bought it, I thought it was just the clip. It turns out it comes with a nice joint bracket there as well, which is great because that makes things a lot easier. And this thing is only about $10-ish, like $11. These stands are about $15 each. So we're looking at like really good value here. And of course, with these pieces, if you're going to continue to pursue content generation for your business, you will be using these things for other things. They're made to work with pretty much all kinds of photography equipment. So a lot of value here is going to take you a long way, whether you use it for these interviews or not. So we're going to put that on. And see, just a little clip right there, looking nice. And then next, we're gonna get this reflector. Now, the one that I had David buy is interchangeable. You're able to do a bit with it. We're gonna be using the white reflection side. Now, don't confuse it for this piece right here. This is a diffuser. This part is not only made to hold the structure of the reflector, but you can take it out and use it to diffuse light passing through it. One light on this side comes out and becomes much more broad, much more softer on this side. We're not doing that, we're reflecting for this one. So for assuming you get this reflector, we're going to flip the zip cover. We put this piece back in and then zip it back up. Don't worry if you're new at anything like this, it being all wrinkly like that, it does not affect the quality. You don't have to worry about that. That's normal. So it's real simply just clipping it on right there, just like that. So these are general placements right now. We don't have the seat up yet. Lastly, what I want to do is, I'm probably gonna put these a little bit further this way, is to set up that hair light. This bad boy right here. So right here, we're gonna screw this on. Now there's a few different ways to power this. In the list to keep it under $200, I did recommend that we get a just a simple power cord that connects directly to this. However, this is really important to note. This light also utilizes the same batteries that you can use with your main light here. So if you take a look right here, this is, I believe they're called NPLN or something like that. I forget, does it say, why does this one not say either? F550. is the one you can go ahead and use. NP-F330, NP-F570, there's a bunch of different names. I'm gonna make it easy, I'm gonna link it down below, don't worry about that, okay? I already have a battery to use with this LED light here, but the one that you're gonna be buying is gonna be coming with a power cord that you just connect in this little hole right here. And then an important thing, because this can be either powered by cable or by battery, you wanna make sure that with this power switch, you choose the right direction. Right now I'm powered by battery, but if I flip it this way, it won't turn on because that is for corded power. Flip it to battery power, and then there you go. You're getting your light, perfect, pretty cool. Okay, so with that said, we can move back on to the hair light. Now this is going to be out of frame behind the subject. Move these back in place. Sir, I'm gonna have you come right over there. Because we want to have it right here. That's right, we're having the subject right here. I'm gonna have you back over there. Now this light is going to come with a couple of diffusers. This is a warming gel diffuser. So all that's going to do, because this one doesn't have the color control like the other main light does, we're going to go ahead and pop that over, and that's just going to create a warm glow. Okay, so we're working with David's camera right now. It's a Nikon D50-100, which is an average consumer level camera, so it's probably most likely very similar to your setup of what you have. It is a crop sensor, if you know anything about that. So if you know that you're working with a full frame sensor, your focal length will be a little different, at least the frame. Right now, on his crop sensor, we're working at 35 millimeters, which is easily attainable with the kit lens that your camera came with. And I have very limited experience with Nikons. So right now I am recording, and this is what it looks like just with the ambient light. Of course, it is getting some reflection from the wall right here from the main light source that I'm about to turn towards him. This is how it looks. As you can see, the lighting that I have behind is purely decorative in the background. It's not providing him any lighting, just so you know. So when I change this, you'll know that it's completely only the lighting setup that we've created here. So I'm gonna get the main light. I'm gonna switch it towards him right now, just like that. And just so you know, the camera is on auto settings. And already, just with this lighting setup, we have a really, really good look. I've already adjusted the color temperature of the LED lights, and just so that it can match the colors that we see behind, you know, make it look like it's actually coming from the room light. It looks a lot more natural. When you order this, you will actually be getting this diffusing, oh gee whiz, sheet that is already inside. It's just gonna soften the light, as you can tell. So he can barely look at it now. And then it gets locked in by a little clip mechanism here. One thing that's really important, we have to go ahead and make sure that our light sources are really close to the subject without being in the frame, of course. The reason why we want them really close is because it's going to make the lighting even more softer. The further the light is from your subject, the more harsh the lighting is going to be. We are now going to include our reflector right here with our clip on the stand. So without the reflector, with reflector, without, with. So it is subtle, but it makes a very big difference. And depending on the quality of your camera might have a lower dynamic range, which means those darks that you see there might be a lot darker in your camera than it is in mine. So it's very important that we get that fill in. So now the last step to really dramatically change the look of this interview lighting setup that's going to give it a much more professional, attractive touch is we're going to turn on our little mini LED light. And we're going to just put it right here out of frame behind the subject, 45 degrees about. Perfect. And we got that nice glow right behind him on his shoulder and that kind of shine on the nice cheek right there that creates this nice good deal of separation. Bring that down a little lower and that looks great. You know what's really interesting about the setup that we have right now is because of the lighting that I have in the background that is not doing any lighting on the subject itself, it actually looks like that lighting is creating that rim light that we just made right now. So it looks a lot more natural with this particular scene. So I highly recommend, if you have the option to, definitely put some sort of ambient light source behind your subject in the frame so that this lighting is not only really attractive or professional, but it looks natural. I did mention this guy right here. You go ahead and fit it in here, but you do have to mess with these a bit. You fasten it with some elastic Velcro strips that it has in the back right here. I'm not gonna fuss with that right now. I just wanna show you the diffusion that it creates on the subject. Just make that light just a little bit more soft. And that looks great, fantastic. So, that's the setup. See right there, look at us. Look at us right there. Look at us, right there.
We're on TV.
We're on TV. Whoa, we're on TV! Oh my gosh. All right, so that's the setup. It's real simple once you know how to do it. It's really easy to break down, to keep it mobile, and to move anywhere you need to go. And it's very, very cost effective, especially when you consider how long this is gonna last you. This is a professional looking setup. You're not really gonna need to upgrade after this, especially if this is not your profession or your career. If you're a business owner, you provide a service, you have a brand, and you're trying to get these testimonials out, this is all you're gonna need, and you're gonna get really professional looking videos for your website and for your marketing. So hopefully this has helped you. Again, all the links are down below, including the optional pieces in case you have a little bit more for your budget. Let me know if you have any questions about anything we've done here, any of the pieces of equipment. Let me know down below, and like and subscribe, and look at some other stuff. I got some good stuff coming on, so keep subscribed and watch my videos and learn more, because I have so much to share. I have so much to tell you. I have